Hail Kingdom, what is fun in Path of Exile 2? Ability to clear screens. Or maybe ability to never die even versus pinnacle bosses. Or maybe ability to one-shot them. Well, I guess all of it combined into one insanely overpowered build. And honestly, one of the most fun builds I played this season. It's just insanely cool. Let's jump into the map and I will show and explain how the build works. Basically, build are super hardcore solo self-found friendly. There's no uniques that you need to make it viable, and also it's pretty fun. Since you clicked on the video, you know my ascendancy already, that we are playing Chronomancer. And like one of the first questions you may have is why Chronomancer? Well, because it was just a random roll in my Zero to Hero series that I stream on my secret channel. But turns out Chronomancer got loads of synergies when you're trying to play as Monk, and it's just amazing. However, you need insanely weird but really powerful passive skill tree and clear based on just two skills. One of them is active, second is just passive. So these monsters will be insanely slow because I'm Chronomancer and with lots of fun layers also. And that's how it works. We basically push a button and everyone is destroyed. And also they destroyed with a chain reaction. So if you ever played Monk in 0.1, that's basically how it looked like. Chain herald reaction. But we're not using double herald, we're just using only one herald. It works extremely simple. So first skill is Shattering Palm that I'm using actively, and you basically rush towards monster. It used as mobility skill pretty nicely. You deal a little bit of damage, but most importantly you're applying ice shards. You need to deal enough damage to enemies to destroy these shards, and I don't see any mention how much damage it should be, but in experience it's not a lot. And that's kinda where damage comes into play. So basically the skill doing 161% of attack damage at level 28, but explosion deals 550% attack damage, which is just insane. Also it's area of effect skill, so if you touch one monster it will spread the stuff among all monsters nearby. As you can see, they are now affected. Now I will blow up them and they blown up. The skill deals loads of ice damage, therefore it freezes enemies, therefore it hits, and therefore Herald of Ice is also active. So it kinda goes in chain reaction with Herald of Ice, one enemy destroyed, freezing another enemy, dealing damage, explosions, basically shattering frozen enemies with Herald of Ice. That's how it works. And that's where our Chronomancer comes into play. So we're using Quicksand Hourglass, and it gives us Sense of Time, which gives us casting speed or area of effect, and it's constantly changing. So right now I will have like 0% bonus area of effect, but it will change into 60% bonus area of effect. It affects this clear, and that's basically how we clear all screens even outside of the screen, when area of effect is just insane. And that's basically pretty cool. That's just pretty cool. For support gems we're using rapid attacks just to attack faster with this skill, elemental ornament for more damage, magnified area for more area of effect, ancestral call for more damage and more area of effect, and culmination. Culmination basically just good extra damage, since we're not always spamming it and we can build some combo and then basically deal loads of damage, especially viable on some maps with elemental protection on monsters. And Herald of Ice, same idea, we just want more area of effect and more damage, therefore magnified area, elemental focus, elemental ornament, and cold attunement for more damage as cold damage. And this build basically specializes only in cold damage. Right now I got charged stuff, but it's not needed. I actually will remove it soon, using it for fun right now, but that's clear. So it will help you basically clear all maps, and it's super easy and super fun. Well, clear is cool, but how can we survive? And we get loads of defensive layers. This build is just insanely tanky, and I never died with this after campaign. Yeah, I leveled in campaign with quota stuff as Chronomancer, so I was squishy and I died a few times. But right now I like never died after reaching endgame yet, but maybe someday I will. Anyway, we're right now on the map with lowered defenses, but of course we're capping all defenses. And what is really cool, and I think it's really cool, is that we're not using Chaos Inoculation. So we actually have life and we have energy shield. That's good because now we can have this extra 1500 life that will protect us from big hits, because when you're using evasion, you're also using deflection with my build, and we got insane amount of extra deflection. And I'm not even using like best in slot items. Right now I'm getting this like pretty pretty good vest, but it can have up to 3000 evasion rating. Right now I got only 2.2k. Yes, we can have like a lot better roll on this one. And we can have like a lot bigger protection, but it is what it is. It's like enough to beat all content. And so for body armor, we're using strictly evasion rating body armor. That's super important because on passive skill tree, we will go over here. We will go and take increased evasion rating, and also we will gain deflection rating based off our evasion rating. This is insanely powerful protective node, and just looking over here, we can see that it can raise our deflection by like 10% or so. And at the same time, to increase this power even more, we're getting this node over here to increase evasion rating from equipped body armor. This again means we need to focus solely on evasion on body armor and no mixed gear. And at the same time, we're taking this node over here that will give us energy shield based on our evasion rating on body armor. Again, that's another protective layer. Yep, we'll have insane amount of energy shield, and that's more defensive build than offensive, but still we will have enough power to defeat anyone. Another like pretty fun defensive layer, I recently added it, and it's extra evasion, extra deflection. So take a look at my deflection and evasion right now. 23.6, 7.3k deflection. Pow! Ta-da! We got like around 10% more. Maybe even like more than 10%. How? Well, another defensive layer is over here. Agile succession, increased evasion rating. If we hit enemy recently, we're hitting enemies all the time. It also gives us attack speed, helps with other like stuff. And basically, like this nodes over here gives us extra evasion. It stacks with everything, and that's how we survive. As Monk, we of course using bunch of energy shield and evasion rating bonuses over here. So it's pretty basic stuff, and also over here. So that's like big ones. But also we're getting like insane amount of extra energy shield because we're starting as sorcerer, we're going over here with more maximum energy shield, getting ailment and stun threshold. I never got stunned, never got ailments most of the time. We're getting insane energy shield node over here and also over here. So that basically gives us the ability to get all of this stuff by starting as Mr. Sorceress. So this part is really important. We're getting evasion rating per energy shield on equipped helmet. This means we need to use helmet with maximum energy shield. So using intelligence helmet, again, pretty easy, straightforward stuff. Just maximum energy shield on helmet gives you more evasion, and you're also getting like insane amount of extra energy shield. And energy shield again is one of the main layers for us. You can go with dexterity boots, you can go with dexterity gloves, but I'd like to stack energy shield, therefore I'm going with energy shield gloves, energy shield boots. That's it. And also last protective layers is Wind Dancer and Ghost Dance. This gives us evasion, this gives us regeneration of energy shield based on our evasion. Again, that's why we want high evasion, and technically it gives us basically ability to be never killed, because Wind Dancer will kill enemies most of the time with blind, maim, close combat, elemental ornament, basically dealing loads of damage and blinding them so they will miss us. Ghost Dance at the same time restoring our energy shield, and it's basically like unkillable machine with this in combination. But also by playing Chronomancer and going over here into Temporal Rift, and also I would say in Apex of Moment. So Apex of Moment will slow down enemies by 20% in our presence. This will give us active ability, and that makes us completely unkillable. Temporal Rift I'm using with cooldown recovery and second wind, and what it does is basically giving us ability to teleport back in time. So I'm running around, and I'm leaving little shades. It's a lot easier to see them in the dark, like over here. And now, for example, look, I'm running away, and then I teleported back to these guys. But wait a minute, pow. Oh my goodness, they are done. So what happened? Basically, this skill gives you ability to teleport back in time. Coolest part, it will backtrack all your stats like mana, energy shield, and health. So if you just lost health against boss, you just tap a button, pow, you replenish it instantly. So it's easy to demonstrate. Basically, I will lose all my mana, then I push the button, pow, I got all my mana back. I push the button again, pow, all my mana back, and I can do it basically once again. So around 3 times in a row, we can fully replenish our health, mana, and energy shield, and then we will need to wait a little bit of cooldown. That's just insane. Considering that again, on top we got Wind Dancer, we got Ghost Dance, and also got Blasphemy. Blasphemy with Temporal Chains that will slow enemies even more with Ritualistic Curse, for more area of effect, magnified area, slow potency for more slowdown, and clarity just because I can. That's it. This makes game like a lot funnier. We will come to the boss, you will understand why, but just look at these guys. Look at these guys. They are super slow, they're attacking insanely slow, and they can't hit us because they can't catch us. I'm not fast, but they are just too slow, and that's what's so fun. And this fun layer also. Fun layer will be added to us when we get to our last part of our ascension. Ultimate control will give us ability to time freeze. So that's fun layer. You press the button, you freeze time, and then you can just destroy enemies. And when they destroy, they will be basically done after unfrozen. This again gives us ability to kind of do whatever we wish. If we are in danger, we will just time freeze, and that's it. So this character clears basically everything, every activity. But of course you can't always use Shattering Palm, so we're focusing mainly on Ice Strike as our combo builder, and loads of other layers will be built upon combo. Ice Strike I'm using with rapid attacks to attack faster, with Revealed Ferocity to attack faster in weapon set 1, with Rage, so we're attacking faster while we are not on full rage, but on full rage we're basically super powerful, so we don't care. And also Crescendo. Crescendo 2 will give us ability to attack faster with our first 2 strikes. Again, it gives us DPS, but also it gives us nice power, so it's like very good. Recently I got Rakiata Flow, and Rakiata's Flow is just great. It costs 25 divines. Do you need it? Well, no. I played with practiced combo without Rakiata's Flow, and it was just completely normal. It helps on some maps, but overall, again, it's not needed. Now, I told you about charged stuff. So we can use it for clearing if you like to, but there's other options. I will explain to you why to use them instead of charged stuff. First of all, again, you don't need charged stuff, and with charged stuff, sometimes you attack from the distance, and you actually want to stay close to targets to generate combo and stuff like that. You don't want to attack from the distance, but charged stuff is also works, especially if you like this style of gaming. But again, as you can see, we're standing still, and that's not what I want to do. But how to generate power charges for our charged stuff? Well, that's where comes our next utility layer. It's Hand of Chayula. Hand of Chayula will apply mark to our target, so we're using freezing mark mostly against bosses. We want to increase our freeze build-up, especially against high tier bosses like Arbiter of Ash. It's super important. I wasn't able to freeze Arbiter Ash even with this, but again, it's nice addition to the build against Zesht, for example. And Hand of Chayula using this combination of gems. It's culmination, so it will generate combo and it will deal more damage based on combo you generated. Eyelid's Chimes. So this will give you ability to gain power charge when you're expanding combo. Basically, you generate combo, you generate, and on, for example, you have 10, 20 combination, you try to use a skill, and you will generate power charges that you can use. Of course, we're adding charge profusion to have ability to generate more charges, and rapid attacks just to attack faster with this skill. So this looks like this. I'm basically attacking, and you don't even need to hit a target with Hand of Chayula. That's little tip from me. So we attack, we clear everyone. Now we check 22 combination. Pow! We can activate this and we can use charge stuff now. Charge stuff I'm using with a shock, overcharge for more magnitude of shock, lightning exposure to inflict exposure at the same time. It also works nicely with the recent buffs to exposure. It's exposure to all elements, not only to lightning, and also using commissarate. It's in combination with overcharge, basically gives you ability to not shock yourself and also increase magnitude. And prolonged duration, so it stays with you for longer. So that's our basic combination rotation. And why we don't need it? Again, if you feel that you clearing very slow, then charge stuff is for you. Definitely use it. If you feel that your clear is fine, maybe your gear is okay, maybe you got good rings like me, so you're clearing pretty nicely, and you're okay with your speed of clearing, then you don't need the skill for clearing, and you can change it, charge stuff, for Mantra of Destruction. Just use recommended support gems on Mantra of Destruction, it doesn't matter. Main idea is to just charge and increase damage of your next attack, and this attack will be used especially against bosses. So if you check my passive skill tree, you will see that we're playing with 0% critical damage, critical hit chance, and actually it can be played with just any quarter stuff, and that's what's so good about this build. You don't need insanely valuable best in slot items like this amulet, for example. This amulet is actually actually a waste of slot for me. It got high critical damage bonus, high critical hit chance, and guess what? I actually can play with 0 critical hit chance quarter stuff. I completely don't care. It's just irrelevant for me, any critical hit chances. Basic damage is more than enough to just defeat basic guys, but to defeat bosses with this setup without critical hit, we need correct combination. Let me first of all summon these guys and see, maybe they will drop me a bunch of expedition logbooks. Probably not. Yeah, not lucky today, but let's go to the boss. And before we fight him, I will also answer your questions that you may find. You may find these questions pretty easily, because you will find a little bit of problems with the build when you're first playing this, but it's super easy to solve this problem. And that's again kinda contributes to insanely nice power of this build in terms of you don't need best in slot items. So if you're looking for like best in slot quarter stuff, it will be physical damage, more physical damage, level 2 all attack skills. It will be also some sort of like critical hit chance, critical damage. There's like loads of stuff you need to have in your quarter stuff, and it's hard to like craft even something like this. But for this build you actually want to have leech physical damage as mana on your quarter stuff, because you don't care about critical strikes. If you will be like lucky like me, this quarter stuff can be yours really easily. You just need to win like 2 rolls, which are 50-50 rolls, and you will craft it pretty easily. And again, coolest part, when you roll something like leech physical damage as mana, for other builds it's not like very good, but for this build it's just OP. Because now we got like 3 slots on our gloves for extra like attacks and resistances or stats. We got extra slots on our rings for the same like stuff. And again, you don't need Headhunter to run this build, you actually can run it with like Ingenuity to increase power of your rings and stuff. But basically you want to have like 7-8% of leeching physical damage as mana. That's the main problem you will face. You will face like lots of problems with your mana, and to fix it, basically we will use Walker of the Welds. That will give you ability to mana leech from elemental damage attacks. And that's like super useful in situations like this. So you lost all your mana, you go with like your clear, pow, and it chains reactions, and also it replenishes all your mana instantly, because every chain reaction will give you like more and more mana. So that's like all base of the build. But again, another like cool parts, I'm using this Javel that gives me ability to get a little bit of attack damage over here, like 75%. It's not needed. You can completely nicely get like this like 3-4 points over here, and it's like more than enough attack damage. And again, we're scaling with basic attack damage, so we're not using any critical strikes, we just attack speed and attack damage dude. What we're interested in elemental damage, so elemental damage when they chill, shock, ignite enemy. Also I like to have this note over here, increase damage for each type of elemental damage, elemental ailment on enemy. Also we're increasing like freeze build up over here, so that's like powerful notes. Probably I will respec over there on like 96. I will remove these points, but anyway, freeze build up is important, attack speed is important, energy shield evasion is important. Therefore, when you're looking for good megalomaniac, you're actually not locked into super like high cost options. Instead, look what I got here. I got tenfold attacks. It's okay-ish. It can cost a little bit, but it's not like super in-demand attack. It gives me just attack speed and a little bit of strength, and also burning strikes. Burning strikes will give you physical damage as extra fire damage. So I'm getting like a little bit of fire damage on top of my attacks. So I can burn targets, therefore I will ignite them, therefore I will get elemental damage from this node and stuff like that. It was super cheap. But at the same time, we can nicely allocate stuff on our amulet, and you can allocate stuff like all elemental resistances and increased elemental damage if you wish to. It's a pretty good one. Nice protective stuff. But I allocated climate change, so it's increased freeze build up, and also I'm getting cold damage as extra fire damage against frozen enemies, therefore again gaining more and more elemental damage. So that's how we scale the build basically. Now let's finally go to the boss, and I will show you how we fight versus real bosses And also we will clear Breach boss just for fun. But that's what makes this build like insanely fun in my opinion. Again, you're playing completely different game. It's not a game when monsters zoom at you and you just need to like fight back. You can like fight, you can not fight them, you can do whatever you wish. And funniest part, it works against bosses. So look, this guy tried to hit me and he is frozen. Goodbye, my friend. That's just super fun. When bosses are slow, you can like juke around them, you can do some combinations, rotations, you can actually play the game. And I don't care if I like defeat bosses not super fast. It's just a lot more fun. So let's charge our stuff before the fight. Never saw this boss in this location, but look, I'm opening with my like slowing down abilities. I will try to freeze him, but to make sure I'm freezing him, I will use this skill basically. So I froze time. Now he is actually unkillable to ailments. We need to make him attack this bro, I guess. Yeah, that's not like perfect boss to showcase power, because when he's slow, it's hard to actually hit these guys. But it is what it is. Oh, he finally frozen. So when he's frozen, I can unleash my combination. And combination goes like this. Pow, he's out. Yeah, we one-shot boss basically. So how it works? Well, we're generating combination with Ice Strike. In this situation I use Quarterstaff Strike just to generate combo. We attack, we generate combo, we get rage, therefore again we get more damage. More damage means you're just multiplying your damage output overall. And of course you're generating more and more combination for Falling Thunder. So that's our main boss melting tool, culmination on Falling Thunder. Falling Thunder is just insane in this manner. It got projectile attack. So whenever you use power charge, you deal 50% more damage per power charge consumed. And then for every power charge, it also added projectiles, also it added again more damage if a power charge was consumed. Also it gives you more damage with power charge consumption if you got quality on the skill, so it's just more and more and more and more damage. And of course we're adding again culmination, that gives you more damage for every combo you accumulate, and we're attacking super fast, we're accumulating loads of combo. Therefore again, we will have like 100, 200 combo, it's unlimited damage, you can hit for like 10 million damage easily. We're getting more damage with close combat, we're attacking in a close range, 30% more damage on top. Fist of War 3, this gives ancestral boost to the skill, which is also 30% more damage, increased area of effect, and it's double effect, so it's just crazy. It's like 100% more damage, and also Elemental Ornament 2 for more elemental damage to attacks. And I finish it with Rage Forged to remove a little bit of rage, but will deal 35% more damage after using a little bit of rage. You can use Ambrosia in this slot, but again, it doesn't matter. What matters is just how you approach to the boss fight. So you basically fight, you try to freeze the boss, you can use time stop if needed, and after boss is frozen, you basically start doing your combination. Combination is simple, Hand of Chayula to generate power charges, and pow, that's it. So that's the full combo. We don't need any penetrations with this build because we got Thin Ice, increased damage with hits against frozen enemies, and we got Heavy Frost, which will ignore elemental resistances on frozen enemies. So again, we don't care about resistances, we care only about ability to freeze our enemy. Okay, Barrage time. So Barrage again is like one of my favorite activities. I forgot to change into Mantra of Destruction, so we will play with this charge stuff, but again, it doesn't matter, you can play however you like. Like, most important stuff I already described to you, what you want to use, what you don't want to use, and most importantly how to use this. But again, in my opinion, most fun part that we're technically like not destroying every powerful enemy in few hits. And when you're not destroying powerful enemies in few hits, you're playing the game. But again, they're slowed, so when they're slow, you again kinda can't play the game. It's hard to play the game when everyone is moving at the speed of light. Basically, you're just spamming buttons. But here, we can evade attacks, we can like generate combinations, rotations, and if we need, we can actually like defeat boss in like few hits. I don't know if I can face tank this, but he moves so slowly, so he can't attack me anyway. Also, this charge stuff helps a little bit with generation of mana. I will like escape this attack, maybe, I don't know if I need to, but let's do it. And then I will like freeze him. So he's frozen right now, I can do whatever I wish. Maybe I will like stand still and attack a little bit. Maybe I will freeze him again because I can, since like who cares. And he will be completely frozen now. Look, he's frozen and pow pow. So that's basically like damage output. We can have more damage if we generate a little bit more combination, but that's basically how it works. With more power, sometimes with critical strike by accident, we're like even more powerful. I guess you want to see how they kind of hit me, but as you can see, I'm like unstoppable, I'm unkillable, and I can't be hit. But if I got hit, well, I can backtrack time and restore all my health, basically all my energy shield. So technically, like, I don't care like too much about this stuff. And that's how you make have like loads of fun. Look, I got hit. Oh no, what to do now? Let's backtrack and replenish all the health. Pow, pow, he's out. Oh, I hope you enjoyed the build, but make sure to watch video on screen right now. It's my 0 to hero journey where I leveled from 0 to hero with this build. It was super fun. I hope it will be fun for you, and see you in the next ones.